Yo, what's poppin', guys? Sizzle here. Welcome back to another episode of How's the HUD? And in this episode, we're going to be taking a look at DarHUD, which is a HUD I used for quite a while in the past, and still very much like. So first things first, this HUD's goal is to be a modernized version of the TF2 HUD while maintaining the art style. I personally think it does that quite well. We have most of the normal options available right there. We got the stats here, which is pretty neat. And we got the clickable coin still available and the ability to swap between it, but it's like more out of the way instead of more central, which I think how it should be. Friends list is nice and available. Reload HUD is an added button, console button as well. Every other button still there as well. Advanced options, normal options, also easily accessible. We go into our backpack. I like this HUD because it makes, maybe I'm just tripping, but I feel like the borders are more pronounced on the actual items of the weapons and all that. When you're in your loadout screen, you have all the modern custom HUD functions. We can go up and down, left and right. Move the character around, zoom them in and out, change the lighting, and all the stuff like that. That's all pretty functional, all pretty well, and the main part of this HUD just looks good. It's a good, alternate version of the stock HUD. It still looks very stock. It still shares a lot of the same colors, but it feels a lot more vibrant and cartoony, which is the entire point of Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike. The entire point of Team Fortress. Sorry, someone just DM'd me about Counter-Strike while I was recording this, and I was just fucking thinking about it, I guess. By the way, loading screens are the default loading screens. As for why Snow Tower is playable in September, I'm never going to understand it, why this is one of the maps that can appear year-round occasionally, mainly through map voting, but whatever. Either way, in terms of UI, right, it's kind of where you expect it to be in the stock HUD, but unlike the stock HUD, it just looks nice. There's not really any complaints for me to have here. What is going with the build menu? I know I haven't had this problem before. I used to use this HUD. I don't know why the build menu is empty. That's actually kind of unfortunate. Normally I'd rank it down, but I happen to know this HUD does normally work, so I must have messed something up. Either way, build menu in the top left, chat where you'd expect it to be, character model in the bottom left, health in the bottom left, all just as expected. That looks fine. If we lose a bit of health, you can see our max health in the bottom there, and you can also see when we're in lower health regions, 8 both has a red part of the plus sign, and we got the nice little glowing low health effect of the stock HUD, which is great. If we go to heal somebody, you can see their health and ammo very easily, but unfortunately the uber charge in the bottom right, I personally find that to be more problematic, but I also don't play a lot of medics, so maybe it's not as much of a problem as I think it is. Yeah, all pretty good looking there. As for all the bars, they're nicely just aligned on the right there. I feel like that's a nice way to do it. If you don't want it centered to the HUD, just make them all consistently just flown there on the right. I think that's a very good way of doing it. Right, the spy's cloak meters in the bottom right, just nice out of the way. Demo man's charge meter is central. This is, I guess, something they do. I don't know why that makes sense to me. I kind of hate that. I've talked shit about, well, not talk shit. Sorry, I've said other HUDs are a bit weird in the way that they handle charge meters differently, but for some reason having the charge meter centered and every other meter in the bottom right, literally every other meter, the cloak meter, the heavy meter, every one of Scout's meters, having every other meter in the bottom corner just makes sense to me for some reason, and I kind of hate that it does, because that would be a bit of a hypocrite, but I don't know what to tell you. It feels right having the charge meter more central. I kind of wish all the bars were more central, but having only the charge meter be more central really helps free up the HUD a bit more. I guess it's a more active meter, if that makes sense, right? But the Huntsman's in the bottom right. Man, I kind of wish I didn't start noticing this in every single custom HUD. Why are they all different? Why are they all different? That annoys me. That's the only real downside I can give this HUD. The tab menu looks super clean because the middle of your screen is still nice and visible, so you can walk around and see what you want to see, but you still get all the same information. It's just pushed out onto the edges so that your center of your screen is a lot more available. Right, it follows that same thing as the stock HUD. The stock HUD actually does similar thing. When you hold tab, it doesn't do that. When you hold tab on this one, it does what the stock HUD generally does normally, where it has all of its elements in the corners of the screen, so that the middle is nice and free. When you hold tab here, it does the same That's definitely a feature I think unique to this HUD, and something I definitely plan on ripping and putting into my own, because that's a really cool way of doing it. Really cool way of doing the little tab menu. But yeah, overall, charge meters are all in different places, which is unfortunate. Most of them feel like they make sense, but I do feel like the Huntsman should just be in the middle. Like, maybe I'm crazy for that, but I feel like if you're gonna have the charge meter in the middle, the Huntsman should be in the middle. It's like an active charge, active ability in the same way that the Demo Man's charge is. The character selector looks really nice. The random and then, edit layout things on either side are very easily accessible. Spectate looks fine as well. I do wonder why there's like an empty thing under people's names, but other than that, nice transparent parts of the screen when you're spectating. Nice and modernized version of TF2's HUD. I feel like that's the strength of this HUD. What it's designed to do. It's just modernized TF2's HUD. It keeps all the same type of elements, but just makes them look a little nicer and fixes a few of the problems that the stock HUD has. And this HUD does that more beautifully than any other HUD that I can remember. And yeah, with that being said, I'll give this one a 5 out of 5. I used it for a long time for a reason. It really does just look like, in my opinion, a nicer version of what TF2 stock HUD was trying to accomplish. But with the added benefit of having come out a good decade or two after Team Fortress 2 itself, so it had all the other crazy advancements in in-game HUDs and just video games to kind of benefit from. I think it takes full advantage. It keeps very much the same style. The TF2 stock HUD has a lot of things it does right, and this doesn't try to kind of beat it at that. It just takes what does wrong and fixes it, takes what does right, and does it the same, but like in a nicer, more visually clear way. With that being said, that's pretty much all there's to say about this one. Hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.